How do I, 31F, tell my husband, 34M, of 6 years that I don't love him anymore? We have been together for 8 years and married for 6. In the last couple of years we have both changed a lot. I have progressed career-wise and I am in a good position, which makes him very insecure as I make more money. Not because he is jealous but because he wants to be as worry-free about money as I am. I have grown as a person whereas he is still that 26-year-old I met 8 years ago. We didn't grow together. We have started fighting a lot. We hardly ever talk, we argue and fight. Everything he does annoys me and he gets annoyed with everything I do. The problem is that he doesn't see separation or divorce as an option. He has no friends, 0 friends, and no family. I feel like he is clinging on to me just because he doesn't want to be alone. I have realized I don't love him anymore. I care about him but there is no love. I can tell that he doesn't love me either but doesn't want to accept this. He is not interested in my life, anything I have to say, etc. I have to be honest with him that I don't love him anymore. Whether that means counseling, separation or divorce I don't know, but I want to discuss this with him without him snapping or breaking down. How do I do it? We have 2 pets. I take care of them 90% of the time. And we just bought a house together which is under construction. It makes things complicated. I am an Aussie, by the way. Edit. We are from Pakistan but moved to Australia 10 years ago. We met here and got married. His family is not dead, they have cut him off because he doesn't get along with them. They don't talk anymore. He just has to send money back home to support them. He doesn't have friends because he doesn't get along with anyone, not because he is insecure about money. He makes more money than all the friends he has lost. I am not money hungry, I do pay for 70–80% of the expenses as it's only fair. He worries about money because he sees my paycheck and that makes him feel insecure. I tell him not to worry about money and that we are in this together. His response is, I know that but I want to make the same amount of money you make, but then he doesn't work towards it. He loves his job because it allows him to work 20% of his workday and rest, take a nap, go to gym during those hours. I am at a point where I don't want to talk about money and just pay for everything myself. He wants to make millions, that's his dream. No, we don't go on dates, he has not done anything for my birthdays, our anniversaries etc. for 3 years. I plan everything for those occasions. There have been several other issues that I cannot fit in this post. So no, I have not stopped loving him because I make more money. This will be the first time I will mention divorce. We have been in fights before. He gets really mad and then suddenly apologizes when I tell him we need to separate for a while to get some space. He changes for a few days and then he is back to his old self. He gets mad over little things and then apologizes and tells me he was stressed out about something else and took it out on me. I do the cleaning and dishes, look after pets, take the trash out, cook lunch and dinner. He gets mad when he has to do groceries and make breakfast. We fight over this as well. I mentioned money in the post and not all the other issues because I feel like this started when he got fired, for something he did, from the company I am working for, and I got promoted and got a raise. Thanks to those who suggested counseling, I will be open and honest with him and suggest counseling as well. Mate, you can't control his reactions and there is no universe in which hearing how you feel is not going to hurt. You need to be honest and power through this. What's important here is saying how you feel without assigning blame. Avoid the old, you always, and, you never telling him what it likely means in terms of separation if things continue on like this. Being real clear with him about what is, and isn't, on the table as far as you're concerned in terms of counseling, trial separations, him just, trying, etc. Giving him space in the convo to process and think, and listening to his replies with respectfulness. Would he be up for therapy? Making friends? I have a friend that was in a similar situation and she talked to her husband and he did a 180. He started therapy, he made a lot of changes, he started to try to make friends, he also had 0 friends and my friend was fed up that he relied on her for everything. I think that her husband got a reality check and he didn't want a divorce because he loves her. That said, if he doesn't snap out of it and make an effort in a short time period, then you need to make changes. Maybe before the house gets finished. Huh? You're married and you have no money troubles, but your husband does? It doesn't really sound like you're married at this point and just 2 roommates. I couldn't imagine my partner worrying about money, while I'm just chilling and not working together as a team. Just break up, it's all over now anyway. How about simply telling him? As difficult as it may sound, it's better to let him know instead of leading him on. It's not a question to ask Reddit really, it's sad that a marriage is ending but only you know how to end it with him. Just be strong and remember you're doing the right thing. There's no point prolonging something you don't want anymore, it's more harm than good to let it go further. Also have to say it's nice you want to protect his feelings heart. Love is not just a state of being. Love is also a verb. You need to actively love him every day and he needs to actively love you. You can possibly redevelop the feelings by making a daily effort every day to love each other. Read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It talks a lot more about this. He's probably clinging to you because he made a commitment. You too need therapy. Individual counseling can help you with this. When I finally decided to leave my ex-husband, after his affair, my therapist helped me put together how to tell him and how to make a plan. I knew, even despite his affair, that I would be breaking his heart. It was the worst day of my life. There's just no way around it. But counseling can help you sort through the feelings, make peace with your decision, and make a plan. My 28M girlfriend, 24F, cheated on me and left our son, 2M, and I. My first time posting something like this, so excuse my formatting and hopefully I don't ramble. I'll try to keep it short and sweet with all the relevant details. Relationship length: 5 years. We met on Facebook and hit it off. Went on a couple dates etc. I asked her out and she said yes. 1 week into our relationship she confessed that she cheated on me with her ex-boyfriend, fuck buddy. She baked me a pie and said sorry and that it was a mistake and she wanted to continue with me. Since the relationship was so new and let's face it, maybe I was desperate, I agreed to continue the relationship. We were seemingly very happy after that and moved on and never spoke of it again until recently. We got together when she was 19 or 20, she was living with her parents. I was about 24 years old, living on my own in my own house. If memory serves, she moved in with me about 6 months 1 year in. I agreed to move into a rental closer to home so we could be around our families and friends more. My previous house was about 20–25 minutes drive away. We are totally happy, traveling all around our state visiting attractions and hiking, vacationing etc. She is a more quiet, shy person. Very stubborn and loves flooding social media with our adventures. About 2.5 years into the relationship she tells me she's pregnant. It's unexpected as I thought she was on birth control, but I feel really solid about our relationship and am excited to open up this chapter of my life. We have our child. He arrived on the exact day the doctors predicted and labor was less than an hour. Couldn't have gone better. Perfectly healthy baby boy. She floods social media with pictures of our life together. Even up to this point it's safe to say we never had a fight. We would agree to disagree at most, and look down on other couple who would always have quarrels. We were super thankful we had each other and, I thought, understood each other and our needs. Fast forward and our son is 2 years old. A week or two after his birthday she surprised me with yet another positive pregnancy test. She is excited, I'm in shock and excited. She's only a week along but she's telling all our family and friends about it and planning everything out because yes, we wanted our son to have a sibling. She miscarried. Something was wrong and we took her to the hospital. She had to have a fallopian tube removed right away. It's during COVID so I'm waiting in the car for 12+ hours while they prepped and performed surgery on her as I couldn't come inside. The surgery is over and she seems all right. It was obviously sad but with it being such a short pregnancy I thought maybe there wouldn't be much fallout. I was ignorant at the time on the side effects of that kind of surgery on a woman. With her being so reserved and stubborn and private I sensed nothing was wrong and we continued on our daily lives. Going to work, paying mortgage etc. It might be worth noting I quit my job during this time to pursue school and a different job in my desired field. We were not ever struggling financially. A month or two passes by and she's hanging out with a friend who is constantly in on-off relationship and is basically a single mom recently turned lesbian, bi. They go to the bar together often. I'm totally cool with it as I know she needs girl time being a mom and working. And I love spending time with my boy. She drives home tipsy and late at night. It starts to become a weekly habit. I notice our sex life deteriorate. It never was a very active sex life as she never seemed the type to be super active but I worked with her through that. But it got to the point where it was almost never and I brought it up. Suddenly she says she wants to take a break and live with her parents for a bit. I say okay, maybe some space will refresh things. I even offer to give her a stack of money and fly a couple states over where her best friend moved and have a girls' week. She declines. A week after the break started I ask if she ever plans on coming home as Valentine's Day is approaching. Radio silence. She says she needs more time and continues going to the bar. She texts me the day before V-Day and says the spark is gone but still wants to give me my gift. Valentine's Day comes and she doesn't want to see me but agrees to having a family dinner the day after. We have dinner and she acts as if nothing is happening but is distant. I try to appear happy but give her some space as well. We exchange gifts. I give her a smart watch and $70 flowers and her favorite candies. She gave me a $15 jar with a magnifying glass for looking at weed. At this point I don't even smoke. She leaves. The next day I ask if we would be a whole family again. She said she used that dinner to see if I could get the spark back but said I failed. I didn't know I was being tested like that and was quite frustrated. This was the hardest time in my life as I already have abandonment issues stemming from my own mom and dad. Things get worse. I discover she's been cheating on me with the bar manager who is 34 with 2 kids of his own and has HPV. I'm very close friends with his co-workers at the same bar who tell me not a single good thing about him and even label him as predatory towards vulnerable women. The worst time in my life is magnified and I would say I was suicidal if it wasn't for the thought of leaving my son. I stay at my parents' as I can't bear to be in the house we raised our son in. I have nightmares every night and can't sleep more than 4 or 5 hours for a month. Her parents are livid with her and threaten to kick her out but I'd be terrified who my son would be around on the days she has him. She continues to use alcohol and see this guy as much as she can. She says she uses him as a crutch to get her through. I did everything in my power and within the law to stop this from happening. It's embarrassing but I even confronted the guy and tried to bribe him to stay away from her. I needed to try everything. I desperately want my family back together. It's to the point now that her parents said to either drop the guy and get through whatever it is she needs to get through without her crutch, or be kicked out and they would keep the child on her days. She destroyed my family and is pushing hers away. We are all baffled about what is going through her mind that she wouldn't even attempt to fix her family for the sake of her son. She claims she needs to find herself. What do I do? Do I wait and try to salvage my relationship? Is it a lost cause? I want nothing more than to be with her and my son in a happy home. Thanks for much if you stuck around to read. Too long did not read. Girlfriend Rug pulled our relationship and family to have an affair with a predatory bar manager of a bar that her and her good friend frequent. Seemingly choosing a self-destructive path over trying to work things out with our family. No salvaging shit. Get a lawyer. She abandoned her child. You need a formal legal custody arrangement now. Stop burying your head in the sand. I'm sorry but it's time for the rose-colored glasses to be removed. If you cannot stay in your house either sell it or break the lease. Get a lawyer to hammer out custody and visitation for the grandparents. Set boundaries with them as well. I.e. she is not to be around your child without supervision which they can facilitate. Block your ex and use a parenting app for communication regarding your child. These apps are court monitored and can help in custody situations like this. Get a therapist. Obviously you want different things in life and honestly I think you should take the kids and cut your losses. You buy flowers and a smart watch, she bought a magnifying glass for wee doof. That says everything, and in my opinion you need to wake up and run the other direction. Lawyer. You need to document this stuff. Particularly events related to child care duties and her alcohol abuse. Sue for full custody and supervised visitation on her part only. At least until she stops drinking. This isn't the fault if the alcohol or the miscarriage and resultant surgery. She's always been like this. Leave her and file for full custody with no rights for her. You will win if she is spiraling out of control and an alcoholic. I don't want to be that guy. But check if the kids are yours. That may become an issue in the future. You need to look after yourself and your child before you look after her. If she's on a self-destructive spiral, then she can't be in your life. Right now, you need to ensure that your child has a happy, stable home to grow up in, and that can't happen with an unstable mother and a father who's pining after said unstable mother. Talk to her parents. Find out how they might be able to support you without her in the picture, since they seem to be basically on your side, and focus on yourselves. Maybe if she hits rock bottom, realizes what she's destroyed, and starts making a meaningful attempt to change, then you can think about it at that time, but that might take years. And even if she does try to come back, I'd be really careful about letting her into your life again. Dude, have a touch of self-respect and leave her for good. Let her have that loser. Lawyer up and sue for full custody. Get evidence of her substance abuse. Just helping you to put it in perspective, bud. She wasn't honest with you at the beginning and now she isn't honest with you at the end. She put you and your family through a lot of pain and abandoned your son. She is completely lost and instead of seeking proper help, such as therapy, she chose a path of no return filled with regrets. If I were in your shoes, I would ask myself this. 1. Is this the type of mom my son deserves? 2. Even if she would come back, how big is the damage? Is it worth repairing? 3. If she was dishonest twice, and I keep the door open, what stops her from doing it a third time? 4. What does my son deserve at this point? Hope this helps you to make a good decision, bud. My 19F boyfriend, 21, is stupid skeptical smiley face. What would you do if you realized that your partner was genuinely unintelligent? I'm not trying to be mean at all. My boyfriend is just not very bright. He forgets everything and I have to ask him a question multiple times before he can comprehend what I said. It drives me crazy. He said today that his brain works slower than his mouth. I don't know what to do. He's unattractive to me because of it. I'm trying to work things out because I'm pregnant and I love him. It's causing me to lose feelings for him. I'm constantly irritable because of this. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but I sure do know what, "Do you want to go get groceries?" means. He says, "What do you mean?" to almost every question. I've been dealing with this for almost 3 years. At first I thought he was just tired or not feeling well mentally. When we first started dating I loved our philosophical conversations, but now his questions are more like, "Would you rather fight a bear or a tiger?" He thinks it's funny. I can't stand it. Even my sister said something asking if he's slow. Help! Exclamation mark. Pro tip. Figure out that someone is stupid before getting pregnant. Is it possible he's just high off his tits? Yeah, that's frustrating. Maybe he has ADHD? Or something like that? You guys could maybe look into it? But someone who can stimulate you intellectually is pretty important in a relationship, so maybe try getting him to read books or something. I know that sounds silly, but sometimes people just need some education or stimulation for their brain. Also sounds like possible undiagnosed ADHD. I don't think he's dumb, I think he's being dismissive of you. If you were once having good discussions, I doubt he has lost brain cells. I reckon he's undermining your relationship, especially if you ask him to do something and he acts dumb about it. If you ask him to do something and he acts dumb about it, that's a way for him to show he doesn't care. He's showing you that he's emotionally unplugged from you and the relationship. I'm not trying to stir the pot, but he is also 19, you're dating a teenager. You're having a baby with a teenager. He may be the baby's father, but he is basically still a child himself. I'd say bear mainly because at least I'd get a great cuddle before being mauled to death. If you don't like him and you aren't attracted to him, then why are you with him? And more importantly, why are you having a baby with him? Seems like he's not the only stupid one here. You say he's dumb, yet you're the one who is intending to have a baby with a guy you don't like at the age of 19. At least your kids will be like both of you. You're pregnant by the age of 19. Doesn't seem like an Einstein's idea from both of you. My 20-year-old son married a 44-year-old guy and things are getting weird. Hi, I am a father of a 20-year-old boy, he is my only son. My son came out as gay when he was 14 and we all were happy that our son felt that he can share something without inhibition or doubt. My son was good in academics till high school, and once he moved to college he started neglecting his classes, and before the end of first semester he wanted to drop out. I was not happy but supported him when he insisted it is not what he wants. When he was 19 he said he was dating a guy older than him. He said he was in his early 40s. Few months later he said he wants to marry him and was persistent upon it, though I told him he is too young for such decisions. But he was going to do it anyway, so I gave them my blessing and they got married. They seemed to be happy. Few months later recently my son casually mentioned that he signed a prenup before the wedding, and soon my son is changing his last name to his husband's. I am so shocked about what to do. My son is an intelligent guy when it comes to academics, but he always had trouble getting along with people. I am scared this guy is taking advantage of my son. I know my son is an adult, but it is also my responsibility as a parent to worry about my son's future. And #X200B. Thank you, any advice will be appreciated. Ask him a copy of the prenup and check with a lawyer what he signed up for. Unfortunately, I think all you can do in this situation is make sure that your son knows he can come to you for help in situation he may find himself in. Maybe start saving some money for him in case he ends up with nothing or needs a lawyer. if you're in a position to do so. If it turns out you're wrong, you've got a nice college fund for a grandchild or something instead. Ultimately, I think you're going to have to let your son learn his own lesson in this, whilst keeping an eye out for any serious signs of abuse, and don't keep questioning decisions like changing his name, even if you don't agree, as that may make his husband try to isolate your son from you. So he dropped out of school, and his plan for the future is to be an old guy's trophy wife. There's probably nothing you can really do, since a 20-year-old probably thinks he knows better than you. If you don't support him financially, there's not much you can do. Maybe try to convince him that he has zero future for himself. The only thing I can think of is if you can find someone who has gone through it themselves to talk to him, but that's going to be hard to find. Maybe just try to keep in contact. Don't talk to him about his marriage at all, so he can maybe reach out when he finally realizes he fucked up. Ignore people saying age doesn't matter. If this story was about a young woman marrying an old guy, there would be hundreds of comments saying how fucked up the situation is. Your son's husband is a creep. That's what everyone would be screaming from the rooftops if you were speaking of a daughter and a man this age. I'm sorry, but being gay doesn't make this any less true. He is a creep, probably a groomer, and has targeted your son because no men his own age would put up with his shit. All you can do is let him know you're there when he needs you. This guy is probably hoping you'll get upset and say something to your son that he can twist and use against you to isolate him from you. Be very careful. Generally speaking, prenups are good ideas, and changing your name when you get married is not unusual. Your son's age is the concerning factor here, and statistically speaking, the marriage isn't likely to last a long time. Yes, it's obviously very possible he's being taken advantage of here, but do you have additional specific details that make you concerned? What is your personal assessment of his new husband? I am sorry, I can imagine as a father it's overwhelming and concerning. I think your son is being groomed. A 20-year-old has no business marrying a 44-year-old. What could they possibly have in common? But if it's what he wants, it's what he wants. From your other comments, I also think they have a dom-sub relationship, but that's not a bad thing and probably involved a lot of trust. I would get the prenup checked by a lawyer, although your son may be insulted by you asking, so I'd ask very carefully. Watch for other controlling behaviors. I know it's upsetting, and I'm sorry you have a right to be concerned. All you can really do is support him though. No way this marriage outlasts your son's 20s. And it sounds like he will be left with nothing after it falls apart. You are right to be concerned. Unfortunately, I don't think you can do anything besides remaining in your son's life to support him once this creep discards him. The best you can do is be there for him and make sure he knows you support and love him no matter what. Maybe the relationship is healthy and your son is happy. In the event that's not the case, your son needs to know he can seek your help if he needs it in the future.